It is just honourable for the immediate past governor of Kogi State to honour the invitation of EFCC, or to honour, the summons to the court if he has been filed, if he has been given the charge. The law is that if he has been charged before the court, he's supposed to appear before the court so that he can be arraigned and he can take his plea. It's actually essentially not a big deal. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we make a lot of issues about criminal trial and criminal proceeding. I expect as a governor, as someone who is an ex-governor who has served this country, should present himself and to show that the law must be respected. It is within the powers of EFCC under the law to ensure that anybody who has been charged before the court is produced before the court. As a matter of fact, the court will be disappointed if EFCC cannot produce such a person. And it is within the powers of the court also to issue a warrant for his arrest. So hopefully that the arraignment will come up tomorrow, but then you see, it may not be arraigned tomorrow if the charge has not been served on him, because it's fundamentally important in law. So we expect what will happen tomorrow, but this is my advice for the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, that he should honor the system of law. I should stand as an honourable person and appear before the court. And of course, see, what happened last week in the news was actually a shame, particularly for those of us who work within the judicial system, within the legal system. You need to understand that it is within constitutional rights. It's a statutory responsibility for EFCC to invite anybody in this land and to investigate the person. Investigation in itself does not mean you're guilty. The law has stated clearly that every individual, every citizen is presumed to be innocent until the court says otherwise. So in view of that, if a person is invited to be interrogated by EFCC, the most honorable thing you should do is to honor the invitation, because by law the person cannot even be kept more than 48 hours. And let me tell you, Yahaya Bello is an ex-governor. Is a known person with a known address. It will be very difficult for EFCC to keep him beyond a reasonable time, except if there are reasons otherwise. Like what we've been seeing recently, that the governor is not willing to appear before the commission. And so what happened last week, is actually a disaster to our justice system, in a station whereby a court sitting in Kogi State granted or gave an order restricting EFCC. That order is logic turned upside down, because there's no court in the land today that can grant an order to stop a constitutional process. No, it's not possible. Not even the Supreme Court will give an order to stop a process that is established by the Constitution. The Constitution is the ground norm. The Constitution is what all systems must serve. All systems must abide with. And so, granted, I have not seen the CTC of the order. I don't know what are the facts before the court, but I know it is elementary in law that you cannot grant an order. It's just, for example, you are granting an order that the National Assembly shouldn't sit. You can actually address some issues, but you cannot grant an order to stop a constitutional process. You cannot stop the police or EFCC from investigating a crime or an alleged crime. And so what we expect from Bello is that he should have stood up as a senior citizen who understands the importance of law and who wants to see this nation progress on the path of justice by honoring the invitation of EFCC and by complying with what's required in law. Use a suspect before the court is the responsibility of the security agency that is prosecuting the person. And the security agency is within the law, has liberty to extend. And let me tell you, even for example, if the person is not in the country, if the person has escaped from Nigeria, security agencies have right to liaise with other country security agencies to assist in ensuring that the person is brought back to the country. So I feel that the military responsibility is beyond the issue of arresting citizens. But then if EFCC has made such a statement, that statement is also a mockery of our justice system. Because if you have, if you have the EFCC is well armed, you have the police, inviting the military make nonsense of the fact that the capacity of the EFCC to do its job. But then, I want you to know that it is not out of place and it's not against the law for EFCC to engage the military to get a particular person who is already a suspect, who is a name, because immediately the court grants order that the person should be arrested. EFCC, all security agencies must collaborate and cooperate with the agency investigating and prosecuting such a person to assist to ensure that the person is arrested. So, but we do not want to encourage a situation that the country will go into anarchy, the country will become lawless, because when you say the military should assist in arresting a person, the military is not trained to arrest citizens. The military is not trained in that manner. The military is trained to defend the honor and the integrity of this country through war. And so if you are saying that the military will assist EFCC to arrest a citizen, you're saying that there's a breakdown of law and order in the land. You're saying that, I mean, it's a mockery of whatever it is, in whatever, I wouldn't know what the spokesperson or whoever made the statement was thinking, but I think it could have been the level of disappointment and frustration in the process of the arrest, because I understood very clearly that in the process of the arrest that some policemen protected the ex-governor, did not give the required support that is necessary. And so, but again, as a nation, we're growing every day, we're evolving every day. A time is coming in this country that people will be decent enough, will have their integrity and the decency to ensure that when they are invited by security agencies, they go and honor it honorably. And that time is coming where when the EFCC, when an organization like EFCC invites you, you do not have anything in your mind that they are being politically motivated. You understand that the law and the legal system is clear. You understand that you can walk into the place, and if you have clean hand, you leave the place. The crisis we're seeing today is a question to our moral fabric. It questions our morality as a nation, because Yahaya Bello, who is scared of EFCC, is probably scared that EFCC could be used as political tool to punish him. And EFCC also that is working to ensure that there's criminality is stopped in this country, is also doing that, believing that this is the right thing to do. So our society needs to graduate beyond this level, where the minds of people will open and understand that. And that is why the commission needs to do more in ensuring that people change the perception of selective justice and selective prosecution. If that can be achieved, it will make a lot of sense though. But more importantly, my opinion is very, very strongly aligned to the fact that EFCC is doing the right thing. EFCC is doing what is provided by law, and EFCC must be encouraged. I mean that the situation and the scenario we saw last week is an embarrassment to Nigeria, and it must not be encouraged. And I think I must commend all security agency steps, because there was a unanimous decision by all security agencies last week to ensure that Yahaya Bello is produced. I do not know who are the advisors of Yahaya Bello, but I think the best thing to do, Honourable, is to appear before the court tomorrow.
So lastly, can we say, can he be called a fugitive as it is now?
No, you can't say that, because the level we're at right now is simply about the fact that he has been invited to come to EFCC. I have not seen Yahaya Bello's response. You understand? I understand that Yahaya Bello has challenged his invitation, and that invitation, challenging that invitation in court is actually wrong. But when we get to court tomorrow, and when everybody's in court tomorrow in the open court, and I mean he's not there, already is aware that the court is sitting, then it becomes an issue. But it will be unfair, because you see, you need to understand that every citizen in this country has some level of right that is provided in our constitution, and people should be given the opportunity to explore the right. But unfortunately, when we begin to abuse such opportunity, then it takes us into a different station. So for now, let's see. I mean, if there's a date for court, it will be unfair to say he's a fugitive in his own country. As a matter of fact, in a situation where you have an order of court, of a lower court, it is right, and it's a settled principle of law that order can be challenged. It does not matter whether the challenging that order now becomes academic exercise, if it is no longer relevant. But already there's a federal high court order of the court to produce and to, I think, to arrest the governor. And that's taken, because that's the proper court that has jurisdiction to even entertain the matter that is at hand in the first place, because the body prosecuting right now, but the body that is attempting to prosecute is the EFCC. As I wouldn't know, I'm not sure if EFCC, yeah, of course, perhaps EFCC is joined in Kogi State. I've not seen the court processes. I've not seen, but I know there was an ex parte order. I do not believe that the substantive matter has been tried and determined within such a short time, because you cannot determine such a matter when you've not even filed served the processes. What we are aware of was that the order granted was an ex parte order, and usually an ex parte order is usually granted pending determination of the substantive motion itself, not even the substantive suit. So we expect that, but then I'm very sure the court and whoever is involved in the matter in Kogi State, Honourable just withdraw the matter or abandon the matter. Also, it would be unfair to continue to talk about EFCC, talk about the courts, without necessarily talking about lawyers. Courts don't grant orders without lawyers approaching the courts with their application. It is important for lawyers to understand that as members of the bar and as individuals who have duty towards promoting the cause of justice in this country, that there are certain things, even when we are approached, when we are engaged to do, that we need to do honorably. This is not to cast aspersion on the lawyers of Yahaya Bello or those who filed that action, but because I have not seen what they filed, and it would be unfair to say that. But I'm saying in such a scenario that it is important for us to understand that there are certain applications you don't take to court. Because when you are challenging, we are asking the court to grant an order to stop a process. Assuming without conceding, if the application before the court was that the court should order EFCC not to detain him beyond the number of days provided by the Constitution upon his arrival, upon him honoring the invitation, it would have been a different thing. But asking for something that does not even exist in the first place is unfair to the justice system and is unfair to the profession.